My name is Dmitry and I work at Dmity Nikitin school. I have almost missed the essential element of my performances. And it's always nice to know whom you are talking to. Could you raise your hand if you are from Moscow or Moscow Oblast? Wow! Wow! Quite a lot of people, thank you. Could you raise your hand if you came here by plane today?
No, yesterday.
Or yesterday, you came here by plane. Not here, but here in Moscow. Wow, wow. Could you raise 2 hands if you came here by train? And could you touch your head if you spent more than 1 day on a train?
Oh my God.
Okay, so let's give a very warm welcome to people who traveled here. And hello Moscow, hello Moscow. The topic of the talk, today's talk, is people first, English second. And at the moment it's quite a vague topic, but I hope it will be more clear, the whole concept will be more clear by the end of the talk. And I think that the main idea of the first plenary talk is to create more answers, is to raise more, to raise more questions than answers. So my idea today is to give you some food for thought and to help you to create more answers, more questions. And during the conference you'll be able to find the questions to those answers. So I was going to build the whole talk around dilemmas we face in modern ELT, and in the majority of dilemmas we can't be somewhere in between. We have to make choices, and those choices will sharpen our teaching principles and teaching philosophy. And my point is that in today's world of eclecticism, we can't really live without a set of principles we stick to. So, the first dilemma we face is a dilemma which we all know from university courses, a fundamental difference between teaching and learning. And for me it's a big question, how do we, teachers and they, learners, still live together kind of peacefully? Because as we know from university courses, teaching is a linear process, whereas learning is chaotic. And chaos is beautiful, mess is beautiful, mess is complexity. And we live in the world of linear teaching. If you open a map of a course from any book you used to teach, an ELT book, you'll come up with a linear system of a course, right? It's either grammar-based, and you study certain grammar structures one by one, and they're kind of more difficult as you progress, or it may be vocabulary-based. In this case, you have units of words based on frequency, and the less frequent the word is, the lower the level is. So teaching is linear, whereas learning is not that linear. And by the end of an elementary course, your student may have some problems with adding s in some verbs. And we spend, I think, hours and days and weeks saying s, or z in our classes. But the same student who is struggling with some basic vocabulary may come up with some definitions like, how was the day? Oh, it was really hectic. Wow. Or, I've been waiting for you forever here, teacher. Why did you come? So, and we never know where learning happened. My point is that talking about differences between teaching and learning, we may come up with an idea that our work, our job as a teacher, not to actually teach in a linear way, but to create learning environments where learning, a chaotic process, some mess may happen. And by mess I mean magic. Now, it's going to be a bit personal because I have strong positions here. It's a dilemma between being result-oriented and being process-oriented. And I believe if you want to be a cool teacher, you have to decide, are you result-oriented and there is nothing bad in it, or are you process-oriented and there is nothing bad in it? Now, I have a hobby. Siberia is my passion, and I observe a lot of schools in Siberia, mostly. And up to a point, I've observed like 100 language schools. And in many schools, people who run schools, they're persuaded by people who sell and promote exams that their students have to take exams every year from the age of 8 every year, and they persuade their teachers to be exam-oriented, to be result-oriented, because they are persuaded that exams are cool. And exams are cool, and they love exams. But teachers are restricted with their curriculum. We all have limited amount of hours. And if we have to prepare our students for exams, we have to sacrifice talking to our students, just talking to our students. We have to sacrifice teaching unplugged. We have to sacrifice changing the lesson in the middle of it. We have to sacrifice projects, drama, and a lot of other fantastic, amazing activities. So my point is that, of course, results are important, but our job as a teacher is to create, my job at least, is to create a kind of environment where our students enjoy the process and they feel safe in classes and they love every second of a class. And my point is, if you organize this process and if the process is enjoyable for learners, they would come to super high results. Whereas, if you are result-oriented, your students may fail. So, the next dilemma is responsibility on them, responsibility on us. It's a big question. Is responsibility of our students' learning on us, teachers, or is it on them, learners or students? And just some months ago, I posted this question on Facebook. Is responsibility of our students, learners on us, teachers? And I've got a lot of aggressive comments from some colleagues saying that, of course it's not my responsibility. Their learning is their responsibility. As we say in Russian, I can't put my knowledge into their head. My question is, if you are not responsible for my learning, why do I need you? Do you want to have a doctor who is openly telling you, I'm not responsible for your health? Do you want to have a trainer in a gym who is openly telling you, just it's your problem, of course? Do we want to be the same teachers? My point is that the truth is somewhere in between, and my point is that, of course, we are responsible for our students' learning, and I would love to have a teacher, and every successful learning experiences I personally had, they happened when a teacher told me, okay, sit back, relax, responsibility of your learning is on me. And as a customer, I know it's not necessarily 100% true. But the teacher would come with some questions like, how can we create a more comfortable environment for you? How can I help you in your hectic life? What role do I play in your hectic life? I understand that not only English exists in your life, and I would love to have such a teacher. Fun and enjoyment, it's a big dilemma. We've been having an interesting conversation with a lady who I know is running for the English community. Her name is Elena. And we almost started fighting because Elena fundamentally believes that learning English and teaching English should be fun. I believe that learning English should not be fun. I believe that learning and teaching English should bring you enjoyment. And by enjoyment, I mean understanding how the construction, next Christmas I will have been working for this bloody company for 25 years, you can enjoy understanding this construction. You can enjoy understanding the structure of an essay. You can enjoy creating an academic text. And creating academic text is not fun. Then we came to the conclusion that we maintained our friendly relations. Because I was talking about fun as about fun, and Elena was talking about fun as the level 5 fun from the hierarchy of fun from a sophisticated highbrow book, by which they meant enjoyment. So basically for Elena, fun is enjoyment, and for me, fun is enjoyment. And my point is that learning English should not be Mickey Mouse fun, singing songs, watching videos, playing silly games all the time, but it should bring our students enjoyment. The next one is a bit, it's important to understand because we teach different kinds of students. Representation and positivity. So we all teach using glossy textbooks, mostly from international publishing houses. And when I'm at international conferences, I'm sometimes stopped by people from international publishing houses, and they would tell me, well, would you have a look at our books, and would you maybe buy our books for your schools, and would you maybe promote our books in your conferences? And my answer would be, I would love to do that. Let's open your teenage book. And in your teenage book, could you show me myself as a teenager? Okay, now in 1992, they start bombing my house. And in 1992, as refugees, we had to go to Yaroslav, where we started living together with my mother, grandfather, and grandmother. We started living together in a 12 square meter room in a council housing. And my father is an alcoholic, and I'm from a single parent family. And my question is, could you show me a boy from a single parent family in your books? Could you show me a boy who is living in a council housing? Could you show me a boy who's a refugee? And they say no. And here it's important, I'm not tackling massive discrimination of minorities they have in books. This issue should be tackled, but I'm not talking about religious, political things. I'm talking about a poor boy. Is it wrong being poor in any country of the world? And their final answer will be, we don't have poor people, we don't have ill people, we don't have disabled and fat people in our books because we want our books to be positive. Do you mean my life was negative? So, and my point is, why am I talking that? Because 65% of students I used to teach at school and university, they are not presented in books. And they start thinking they are not normal because they are not in books. And we have to make a choice. Are we going just to carry on with that, saying, thank you for your books being positive because I'm not there? Or should we do something, like giving a talk? So, it all leads us to the necessity of principled eclecticism. So, we live in the world where marketing domination of mainstream methodology is huge. And people would tell, not you, they would tell me I'm an idiot if I start to experiment with my own method and if I stop using glossy books and if I stop using exams. Would you agree that we live in this big marketing world of international exams and international textbooks, mainstream books? But because there are a lot of people who try to persuade us to buy their products, I think we have to create a set of principles we stick to based on our teaching philosophy. Now, very often I'm criticized for being a PhD, which is true, and very often I'm criticized for being a bit too theoretical, which is partly true. But now I'm talking about very practical stuff. If you have your teaching philosophy written down, and if you have a set of principles written down, and if you stick to your set of principles, you can become an even better teacher. You can become an amazing, fantastic teacher. And you will be able to create new learning environments in where you live, because we live in the world of principled eclecticism. If we don't have principles, we are going to be uncertain, we are going to be confused, we are going to be lost, and people will be able not to persuade us, but to manipulate by us. So, and it leads us to the idea that let's teach people first, English second, where students enjoy what they're doing by improving and developing their higher cognitive skills, not drilling all the time. When students feel okay, they feel good, they feel safe, and they feel present in our classes. And before I finish, one final advice. And of course, thank you very much. Thank you, Moscow. Let's keep in touch. If you scan QR codes, they're my Facebook and VK. Thank you, organizers. Thank you for being nice and smiling at me virtually. My name is Dmitry, and I work at the Nikitin School. Enjoy the rest of the conference.